Hello everyone and welcome back to the January monthly tournament here at Grey Ogre Games. My name is Mick, I'm one of your hosts alongside Jensen Go. Still feels weird. We didn't get a lot of time to think about the nickname.
I mean, the last round lasted quite long, but once again, I'm Jensen. I used to cast League of Legends. Now I'm here together casting some Magic the Gathering with Mick.
Why aren't you casting League of Legends anymore?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the off season at the moment, so
Oh,
there's not
okay,
a lot
okay.
of games going on in the local tournaments.
Right. Are there a lot? I mean, like, we'll talk about that in a while. But anyway, we're watching a match here between Jose Lau on the left side and Wei Song on the right. Jose quite on a hot streak now. He's 2-0, and so is Wei Song. Wei Song looks like he's going to take a mulligan. Jose is playing Mono-White Hatebears, I believe.
How dare we
Yeah.
had it?
Yeah,
So
we
then
just talked
transitioned
about
into people trying to play unfair, and then we saw the Tron deck, which is like kind of half and half. We're gonna play unfair with hate in the main deck itself with 4 Relic of Progenitors, and then now we've gone to full blown Hate Bears. This Mono White is gonna be the Talia on turn 2,
right.
and all that good jazz.
Yeah. Talia is such a powerful card. Like, Talia is my favorite modern card because she warps the game. Like, she just, just warps the game. Like, how you have to consider playing, playing the game.
Especially in a
Yeah.
format where everybody's trying to squeeze out 3, 4, 5 spells on turn
Yep.
3 or turn 4. Talia says that you're not only going to have to delay it 1 turn, you're only going to be able to play, you have to play it fair, only maybe 2 at most 3 spells.
Exactly. Yeah, you leave up that, like, you leave up that lightning bolt, like, that 1 mana for the lightning bolt, a path to exile, end step, and then the guy drops Talia, and they're like, nope, you are not. Okay, so, wow, the chat is, like, going off. I 5-0'd with Pyro Prison, Mr. Wolf MTG. Pyro Prison? Wow, really? Okay. Yeah, sell that deck. Sell that deck really fast. Pyro Prison is an interesting deck. I have to see. Dark Angel saying hi. Hello. How many players today? A lot.
34?
It's 30,
I
yeah.
think 34, maybe 35.
Yep. A lot of players. And there was supposed to be more. An additional 4 more players, I believe. But they came like way too late. So okay, Jose here, not the best of starts. Looking probably for that land. Now it's the 3rd turn. He could actually play that.
Run me through this real quick. What is
Yeah.
Wei Song playing?
So, man, this is okay. He's playing a colorless deck. It's an Eldrazi deck. It's
But it's
not
not
exactly
Tron.
Eldrazi and Texas. Yeah, it's just an Eldrazi deck with Ghostfire Blade, with Reality Smasher. Reality Smasher just surprisingly hard to deal with.
So this
card,
looks like a bad matchup for the Hate Bears, because Hate Bears, they want to deal with unfair decks.
Yeah.
This looks like a very
This is a
fair
very fair
deck.
deck. Yeah, this is one of the, well, I won't say Thought Not Seer is a very fair card. Thought Not Seer is pretty unfair, but it is more fair than usual. And look at that, Ghostfire Blade. Let's bring up this card. Like, this is not something that you do see too often. So Ghostfire Blade, it's a 1 mana equipment. Equip creature gets +2/+2. You pay 3 mana, you equip it. But if you equip it to a colorless creature, it only costs 1 to equip. So really very strong card here, especially when you pair it with an Eldrazi, any form of Eldrazi.
Well, technically, he just did. Multivolt is none of the colors, but every creature type.
Exactly.
So that was paired with an Eldrazi, but that's not the Eldrazi we were looking for.
So let's see. Does he slam the Reality Smasher? No, he's got, yeah.
So
Yep,
what's on the
Reality
side?
Smasher.
Okay, that's Reality Smasher. What's on the side of Jose?
Okay,
how
so
do you pronounce that? Because in
Jose,
Spanish,
I
it's
think.
Jose.
It's Jose.
Okay, let's go with Jose.
So Jose there has a Blade Splicer, and that token that he has on the battlefield is 3/3. Blade Splicer is a 3 mana 1/1. Enters the battlefield, you get a 3/3 golem artifact creature golem token, right? And when the Blade Splicer gives all golems plus it gives all golems what you call it?
First strike, I
First
believe.
strike, yes, first strike.
Ha! I was still playing when the card was around.
Oh, okay. So, gonna blow up your Eldrazi. Gonna blow up your Eldrazi temple and just gonna swing in for a lot of damage. So this is not really. This is like Hatebears, but it's man, that's a lot of tempo. That is insane amounts of tempo. Jose here taking a lot of damage.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the
sorry,
idea
so,
behind the Hatebears deck. You want to play a very tempo-based deck.
Yep.
And then because the creatures you play have a lot of hate abilities built into it, so you stop your opponents from suddenly exploding onto turn 4. Because usually right now, if you're playing against some of like the Storm decks, as well as the Amulet Titan deck we saw in the first round, they're down at 6, but suddenly they win the game out of nowhere.
That's right.
The Hatebears stopped them from doing that. But now he's up against a fair deck, so he's not going to be able to slow his opponent down. But it's still going to be enough to put him down. You're still at 6 life. You've got 1 turn. Find an answer to the board now.
Yeah. So Jose here just looks like he has enough enough resources to deal with whatever Wei Song has on board. And yeah,
Very
he
quick
can't
game one.
it is a tempo deck. Like the whole point of the Hatebears deck, as you mentioned, is just to push back your opponent, 1-2 turns. That's it. That's all I need. I need you to, play turn 2 on turn 3.
I mean,
And then we're in the game.
we didn't even see Wei Song cast a single Eldrazi in the game.
No, we did. He had the Reality Smasher, yeah.
right?
So Reality Smasher, very, very powerful card, but of course Jose there had some answers to Reality Smasher in the form of Path to Exile. It still hurts. You still have to give up 2 cards to get rid of the Reality Smasher. And Reality Smasher is just such a beast. Like, it's crazy. 5/5. 5 mana for 5/5 haste and trample. And it harder to get rid of. So
But perhaps there was some bad luck coming through from Wei Song. I mean, we did see him take the mulligan down to 6, and I think he just kept the hand. We saw him beat in with the Moodle Vault, so he probably kept something as like he didn't want to go down to 5. And that's the thing when you play a fair deck, the more you mulligan, the more it hurts you.
I mean, like, usually when you mulligan, it hurts you anyway. But some decks do rebound from it better than others, especially when you have cantrips. You can set up your draws. You don't get that card advantage, fine, but you do. You're able to manipulate the future of how you can draw or how you're supposed to be playing the deck.
I mean, once again, we're playing in a post-war situation. The Hatebears player, what's he going to bring in? He's seen a little bit. He can probably figure out. He saw the Ghost Fireblade. He saw the Reality Smasher. He knows he's up against Eldrazi. What do you think the Hatebears player is going to be bringing in?
Not much, honestly.
Haters gonna hate?
No, yeah, you're just gonna, he's just gonna play as usual. His Ghost Quarters are already in the deck. So, there's not a lot that you can do against Eldrazi except for, if you got more Path to Exiles. We saw him bring in and settle the Wreckage, which is actually very good because it doesn't target Eldrazi, but at the same time, he's got to deal with maybe a turn 2 Thought Knots here, which can be very, very frustrating. So turn 1 Eldrazi Mimic. Turn 2 Thought Knots here and deal, immense amounts of damage. Maybe.
So it looks like Wei Song has a much more playable hand this time around. We're no longer watching Kitchen Nightmares. We're back to watching Magic the
Nightmares.
Gathering and Grey Ogre games. I can just imagine. I mean, the previous round was such a dismal hand. You can. I mean,
It
you
was
can't hear the
okay.
players.
I won't say it was bad. It was okay because he had like Ghost Fireblade. He had 2 Reality Smashers in hand, which means that had he resolved, he resolved the Reality Smasher. Had the Reality Smasher been able to swing in that first turn, he would have won the game because he would have swung in for 5 points of damage. The next turn, he would have swung in for another 12 points of damage. That's 17 points of damage, and
Fair
he already attacked with the Muta Vault the turn before. Okay, so Endless One comes in. It's a 2/2. Gonna blow up your uh, your land. Yeah, your Leonine Arbiter.
It doesn't let them search. That allows him to
Yeah.
search for planes, right?
Yes, but the Leonine Arbiter, slightly different creature.
So that doesn't allow players to search the libraries.
Yes.
So the goal scorer now becomes a wasteland.
It doesn't allow you to search for a library unless you pay a certain amount of mana, which is 2 mana. Then you can search your library. But Jose just runs it out blind, with the expectation of probably trading off the Leonine Arbiter with one of the Eldrazi mimics, or maybe with the Endless One. But we see Wei Song just like drop an Endless One and then have a Ghost Quarter to basically strip mine Jose.
Well, looks like we're gonna have a very fast series of games over here already. Jose on the back foot, down to 9 health and facing down 3 creatures from the opponent's side. This is the main phase Path to Exile that we're gonna see from him.
Yeah, he doesn't want Wei Song to untap, so he doesn't get to look for the extra land. But it doesn't really matter. Wei Song looks like he has enough lands. And wow, he's got a Thought Knots. Did he just draw the Thought Knots here? I think he had it from the previous turn. Oh, this is bad. Okay, so at this point I think you take the Blade Splicer. Yeah.
Just get rid of his creature presence on the board.
Yeah, so Blade Splicer gives in 2 additional bodies, which is very, very bad for Wei Song. So I think you take the Blade Splicer versus the Flicker Wisp, because the Flicker Wisp needs some time to set up. And the Flicker Wisp, honestly, is just a little bit easier to deal with. If you got Walking Ballistas, then this becomes like really very easy.
Now the Arbiter does chump block. Gives
Oh,
up his
man, that's-
life and tries to buy Jose another turn. But as he draws, he doesn't have any outs. And that will be the concession to bring the game and the series to 1-1.
Yeah, so I won't say that game was close. This is what Eldrazi wants to do. Like, this is exactly how Eldrazi wants to operate. Like, turn 1, Eldrazi Temple. Sure. Eldrazi Temple is so... Oh, man, such an annoying card. Eldrazi Temple, like, that card needed to be banned. Not Sanctum of Ugin. But anyway, yeah. So Eldrazi Temple hits the battlefield. You get a fast play. Turn 2, you get a fast play. Turn 3, you get a fast play. If you can go Thought Knot Seers on turn 2 or turn 3, like, you're way ahead of the curve. 4 mana for 4/4 and get to strip your hand of the best card that you have. Sure, why not? And you have to play around that. Like, if you're Jose, you've got to play around that, which means that, you've got to leave up mana for Path to Exiles. You've got to, make sure that you don't just, like, die to a Thought Knot Seer, because the Thought Knot Seer lands, you're going to lose your best removal. That's it.
So this is the opposite of what we saw in the first round, where we saw players setting up for the first 3 turns. Down here, we are seeing players putting pressure on the ball in the first 3 turns, and then having disruption in the form of Hatebears
Yeah.
for Jose, and in the form of Wei Song, the likes of Thought Knots here that will allow him to strip away the combo pieces from his opponent's hand. It will be interesting to see how these match up against one of the more unfair decks that we saw running earlier. But now they're faced off against each other, and I have to say this is just going to be, from what I've seen so far, a question of who can get the tempo going faster.
Yep.
Being on the play seems extremely important.
Yes, that's true. Well, that's especially more true for Jose, because Jose wants to be in the driver's seat. Like, he wants to drop the Aetherval on turn 1, make sure he has a Talia on turn 2, and push Wei Xiong back. Because if you're pushing your opponent back when he's on the draw, when he or she is on the draw, like, it's so much harder to come back from that, So let's see. If you're just joining us, you're watching the January monthly tournament here at Grey Ogre Games. My name is Mick. I'm one of your hosts alongside Jensen Go. Yeah.
What's up, people? And once again, off the bang, Jose just building creatures from the start. This time, Wei Song,
no. Yeah,
Well-
this is not ideal.
he didn't mulligan, so maybe we might have a little bit more of a fight this time
Oh
around.
gosh. Okay, so this is what we were talking about. Turn 2, thought
It's a
knots here.
big creature on turn 2.
And it's a 4, like it's huge. It's a 4/4. Do you take the removal? Do you take wee wah. Maybe take the blade splicer, you know. Jose is gonna be able to get a land down next turn. He will be able to cast one of his 3 drops. So like, okay, you take Flicker Wisp which you can't deal with it, but there's 2 Flicker Wisps here. So I think you want to take away the Blade Splicer because the Flicker Wisp has massive amounts of value with the Blade Splicer. Instead of taking away the Saddle Wreckage. So he does agree with us. Takes away the Blade Splicer. And so 2 Flicker Wisps, not as impressive as the Blade Splicer.
Well, I mean, settle the wreckage. Knowledge of the card is enough. You know
Right,
that's
yeah,
around there. You try to play around
And
it.
you play around it, yeah. So looks like he's gonna flicker his own Thraben Inspector and G Poly's 28 say why he didn't attack. Yeah, that is a good question. He did not attack, and that's a very good question. Thought-Knots here goes in. Jose here not gonna block. It's kind of strange.
So I guess the plan here is not so much to play a control kind of game against Wei Song, but to race him and try to force him to slow him down by virtue of the fact that he knows that Jose has Settle the Wreckage in hand.
Yeah.
Settle the Wreckage is a very big tempo card that can swing the tide of these kind of tempo races.
Yeah.
But there's a second Thought-Knots here that comes into play, and this is bad news for Jose.
Wow. So instead he takes the Flicker Wisp instead of the Settle the Wreckage, which that's pretty strange.
So that will probably mean
but
that
that's-
Wei Song is going to keep one creature back to block and just keep hitting one Thought-Knots here.
All right, I got a glimpse of Wei Song's hand, and it's just incredible.
Are we seeing all 4 copies of Thought-Knots here?
It's at least 3 copies of Thought-Knots here, and this like turn 2 Thought-Knots here is already backbreaking. Then turn 3 Thought-Knots here, and then turn 4 Thought-Knots here.
I mean, this has to be some Kaiba level of screw the rules mode
Yeah,
where he
screw the
puts 3
rules,
of them, then summons the ultimate Thought-Knots here.
Yep.
Then he just removes his opponent's hand from the game.
Yeah.
And library while he said it.
And
as well.
it feels like Hive Mind. Does he have a land? He doesn't have a land to play, and so yeah, Jose there able to stave off that third Thought-Knots here.
And the gang block does come in.
Alright, so Warping Wheel. We're going to get rid of one guy. One Thought-Knots here gets in.
He wants to be able to summon all 3. Have all 3 on the board.
Yeah. Okay, so the best draw. Okay, what Jose might do now. Oh, I thought he should have just blown up one of the creatures. Okay. Wow. And it's the Eldrazi Temple.
Thought-Knots here, number 3. And from his hand, he can play the spell card, Polymerization, to summon ultimate Thought-Knots here.
Thought-Knots here. Ice Dragon. I don't know. Thought-Knot Eldrazi something. Is that
Well, I
Blue
get what
Eyes
you
Ultimate
mean
Dragon, yeah.
when you say that this card is unfair. I'm seeing this is absolutely difficult to recover from.
What? Game rule violation. Yeah, and Wei Song just takes it like this is what Eldrazi wants to do. Like, you don't need Tron to cast your Eldrazi. Like, you just need Eldrazi Temple. And that's why I thought like this card is just it's supremely unfair because you can go Thought-Knots here on turn 2, whereas if you have Eye of Ugin, you could go Thought-Knots here on turn 2, but it's really tough. Like, it's not it's really hard. Anyway, congrats to Wei Song. Wei Song, he is going to the next round undefeated.
So that's a 3-0. I
yeah,
think they're looking
3-0.
at a 4-0 and perhaps the ID twice to the top 8.
Yep. So his next round is a win and in. We'll have like table 1 and table 2. I think table 3 will be paired down, and so table 1, table 2 is win and in. So who knows? Or maybe table 4 might be win and in too. Anyway, we are going for a short break. We'll be back in about half an hour, so don't go away. But we'll put on a replay. We'll put on a replay of last week's invitationals, which is quite exciting to watch. But before we go, just want to remind you that you can join us on the stream every Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Singapore time. And if you want to watch the replays of all the tournaments, including our 2017 invitationals, you can go on down to youtube.com/GreyOgreGames. And last but not least, do check out our website, GreyOgreGames.com, to find out more about how you can be part of the Grey Ogre Games invitationals. All right. We will be back very soon, so don't go away. See you guys.